Hi, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm the program manager for ConveyUX. That's Seattle's annual user experience conference that's produced by Blink, and the next one's coming up March 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Westin Seattle in downtown Seattle. And we have our biggest show ever with more speakers than we've ever had before, and I get a chance to talk with all of them, and that's a fun thing. So today I am speaking with Apurva Gupta. Hello, Apurva. How are you today?
Hey, Joe. I'm good. Thank you.
Well, I'm talking from Blink's downtown Seattle headquarters office. Where are you talking to us from?
I'm here in East Palo Alto, California.
Well, a good place for these little interviews to always start is with you talking a little bit about your background and the things that you're doing now.
Sure. So my background, I'm a UX designer at Amazon at the moment. I joined a few months back, and I am working for AWS consoles team. So I work with some of the consoles that some of the developers in the conferences might be using. So I design those.
What's typically a day in the life like for you? What are some of the activities that you're being called on at Amazon?
So a day on my life would be meeting with product owners, talking to our customers to identify requirements or new features that may be coming up, working on those, on mocks, on concepts, and also working with developers to see where they are at in the development process.
And if there, I know, have there been any particular challenges? I know you've kind of moved into a new opportunity there. Is there any things you have to report about what how things are going?
Wait, sure. So I moved from a 15 people team to now over 100, and Amazon, as you know, is beyond a couple thousand. So I think that has been a big cultural change for me. So working with new people, working with larger teams, coordinating with more stakeholders, that has been exciting and new learning for me.
Well, we'll talk about the presentation that you're going to do at the conference, but is there anything else going on new and exciting in your life that you want to talk about?
Sure. So apart from work, I also teach laser cutting at a community makerspace. So earlier this year, I launched a Kickstarter where I designed acrylic magnets that were laser cut. So taking it a step further and looking at the same thing from more sustainable raw materials, so looking at reclaimed plastic or a lot of time there are some companies which capture a carbon from the environment and convert it into stones or beads that can then be reusable. So looking at those materials and seeing what artifacts I can work with.
Well, it's exciting to hear that you're able to work through the Kickstarter and be part of the maker community like that. Your topic that you're going to talk about at the conference is an area that's of particular interest to me, accessibility. That's one of the other activities I'm involved in at Blink as the accessibility director. So your topic is entitled Achieving Accessibility in Practice Through a Design System. So talk a little bit about what that's all about and what we can expect to learn from it.
Well, sure. So this relates to my role in my previous company, which was a fintech startup, and we were working with banks and credit unions because some of them were federally funded, or because they're public organizations, they're mandated to be accessible, following all the accessibility guidelines and so on and so forth, which meant we had to be accessible because we were integrated within their online banking and mobile banking platforms. So when I started, I had no idea about what accessibility entails and what goes into it other than, the cosmetic things, contrast and colors and so on and so forth. I was fortunate enough because at that time we were also building design system, and that helped me integrate accessibility guidelines from the ground up in the components. So in this talk, I want to share my experience of how I started with accessibility and how design systems in general not only help with processes, but also help achieve better usability and accessibility if you build them with those guidelines from the ground up. So everything works out for better. And there are scope of improvements, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be interesting to hear your experiences with that, in that a lot of times accessibility is only looked at the very end of a project, and then it's everybody scrambling to figure out how to make adjustments to the existing code, and the idea of integrating that within a design system is certainly more ideal, progressive way to look at that.
Yep, I echo your thoughts.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me a little bit about your background, the talk that you're going to present, and we'll see you when you make the relatively short trip from California to Seattle in March.
Yes, I am looking forward to it.